Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
iPhone 13 Pro features our most pro design. iPhone 13 Pro comes in 4 striking finishes.
That was the unboxing.
Pro Max is in this piece.
Alright guys, welcome back
everybody
to another
to
video.
Tech
It's
here.
So here we are with this
We're
very
gonna be unboxing
iPhone 13.
Back with another
video. Yes.
Right now, this is the best camera system on a smartphone.
Let's talk about iPhone
Now
13 Pro Max, and it's really going to be the 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max.
This is launch day. Received my
Oh my god,
iPhone
this
this morning.
phone is so good. I'm not even joking.
My wife's iPhone.
I was running around the house.
Hi guys, this is your guy Gesh75 again from Mobile Info Tech, and welcome to a very unexpected video if I'm honest. Welcome to the unboxing of the iPhone 13 Pro. Well, and here it is. The iPhone 13 Pro in Sierra Blue. Before I begin the unboxing, I would like to hand out a huge shout out to Mr. J. Williams. He gave me the extra push I needed. Well, let's take a look. You can see here the version that I have ordered. That is the 13 Pro Sierra Blue 256 gigabytes of onboard storage. So, as you've seen in many other videos, Apple has actually tried to make their packaging more environmentally friendly, and that includes getting rid of the plastic wrapping that used to be around its boxes previously. We now have these two strips that we need to, this little tab that we need to pull. One on the top, and another one here on the bottom. With the two strips peeled off, we can open the iPhone box like so. A little less spectacular than it was in previous years, but nonetheless, it still looks classy. Upon opening the box, we are greeted with the iPhone. This is the Sierra Blue variant. Let's put it to the side for just a few seconds, because all we get is a charging cable, USB-C to Lightning, and some paperwork including the SIM pin tool that is still needed to remove the SIM card from the device. Let's now take a look at the device. So we see the sides are shiny, made of anodized aluminium, and I do prefer, if I must say so, the sides from the regular iPhone 13, as those are matte, and that is less prone to smudges, as you can see. Whether on the front we see it's all glass, very flat edges, just like the iPhone 12 from last year, but the cameras are a lot bigger. And that is of course because the modules, every module has had an increase in size and aperture, and that is actually why the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro have such highly rated cameras. Let's see if the device has some juice. So nothing's really changed in terms of ports. Still the lightning cable on the bottom, and on the sides we have your power and off button, and on the left side your volume rocker and ringer switch. On the top the notch has shrunken a little bit, and will bring in one of my older iPhones shortly to compare. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, I would appreciate it if you could smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. So let's now take a look at the inner workings of the iPhone. I've set up a simple PIN passcode to just demonstrate the capabilities of the device. So after you set up your iPhone, if you don't do all the settings, you will keep getting this pop-up, and I will make a separate video on how to deal with that. So as of now, I can't really tell that I'm using a high refresh rate screen, to be honest. So if you look at the notch, for example, we can see that it is a little bit different, but we can only truly see the difference when we bring in my older device, the original iPhone 10. And here you can see that despite the iPhone 10 being an overall smaller footprint of 5.8 inches against 6.1 of the iPhone 11 and on, and also in this iPhone 13 Pro, you can see the notch has been narrowed down, but it does appear to be a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, if you will. Ever so slightly deeper. And that is because the top earpiece has been raised to the top, while in the other old notch, the earpiece was still between the lenses of the Face ID. Well, I have to say that with scrolling, I don't immediately feel the effects, although it does appear to be ever so slightly smoother. And transitions ever so slightly faster. But, as I've said in my previous videos, at 60 frames per second the iPhone remains one of the smoothest devices, only equaled by the top Xiaomi device that I've reviewed in the past, and also the Pixel series. Now that I've had a hands-on with this device, I know that from videos that I've seen, I was very interested in knowing where can I exactly see if my device is running a high refresh rate or not. I'll show you this in this video real short. So what you do is you go to Settings, you go to, well, normally you would go to Display, but here you won't find anything, so I'll save you that trouble. What you do is you go to Accessibility, and then you go to Motion. And here you can see Reduce Motion, so that is effects and parallax effects of the icons. We've had that on other iPhones before, but what you can see here is Limit Frame Rate. And by toggling on Limit Frame Rate to 60 frames per second, that is how you turn off the 120 Hz. So that is, I think, one of the most requested things that people want to know about this iPhone 13 Pro. And so that is how you can actually enable or disable the setting of high refresh rate yourself. So concluding, what are my first impressions of this device? Well, at almost 200 grams, it is quite a bit heavier than other iPhones before it, at least by 10 grams. So if you're an Android user coming from a high-end flagship, you won't really notice any difference. But I know most of you guys still have either the iPhone 10, iPhone XR, or even phones before it. And then I can tell you that the difference can really be felt. Also, I haven't really touched upon the cameras, but those all still remain 12 megapixel, but they've been just enhanced more effectively in terms of their sensor sizes and also their aperture. So especially in low light and difficult weather conditions, you should get a lot better imagery from this device. And as we know, video on this device is top-notch, has always been top-notch, and Apple has increased it yet again by offering various new tricks and features in video mode. We can quickly take a look at that. So even when you open the camera app for the first time, you are now asked to choose a photographic style. So if we do choose style, we can do standard, which usually came in iPhones, which for some people is a little bit too muted or otherwise. We have rich contrast, which is what we find in, I think, most of the Samsung devices. We have warm style, which is something that we see in a lot of Chinese brands. And cool style is something that the Pixel does. So for the purpose of this video, I will just choose standard. And here you see we have all sorts of video modes. And the cinematic mode, of course, is the new one with shadow depth and field. And I will probably make a separate video for that as well. What has finally changed though, and what is important to me, is that you no longer have to go down to the settings to change your video parameters, such as the resolution. I can just do that now from the camera menu, and also the frame rate per second, which is a very, very welcome addition and something that seriously questioned my sense of Apple's sense of what is user friendliness and usability. Because previously you would always have to go down to the settings menu, to camera, to change the settings. And here you could change all of the settings. And now you can simply do that just like Android phones have been since the beginning of time. Finally change it here in the video interface. So of course there's many more things that I want to try out on this device, such as gaming, the camera of course, and just how it is to live with and how the durability stands the test of time. One question that I can answer for you guys is if the 13 and 13 Pro are worth it over your current device. Especially with the iPhone 10, 10R and the 11, which all have the same shape, I can tell you that of course the design is a huge upgrade. To me it looks much more stylish, much more innovative and modern. But also in terms of screen size and the feel of the screen, I can say that the iPhone 13 really takes a step ahead of those models, more so than the 12 did last year. If you have a 12, I would rather wait for the 13 as I almost did, for the 14 that is coming next year like I almost did. But in terms of any model before the 12, I think it is worth an upgrade. And of course, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to make any assumptions on people, but with the iPhone, I think it also has to do a lot with emotion. So if you feel that you need the best iPhone, the best that Apple has to offer, I would suggest looking at the Pro, because if that just feels right with Apple, a lot of times when people buy an Apple device, it really has to do with emotion and feelings of what the device gives them, then I can recommend the Pro. If you're a more sensible person, the Pro of course has incredible detailed extra features, but those features aren't features that you can't live without. So for sensible users, users that want the best iPhone for the money, I would suggest take a look at the regular 13. Not only because of course it saves money, but in my humble opinion, I think the 13 has been blessed with nicer color options. I mean sure, this Sierra Blue, it is fantastic, it looks very very nice, but for instance the Starlight color or the blue color of the iPhone 13 are even more prominent and even nicer to see. And if I can describe this blue color to you guys, I would say it looks like blue, light blue, but more like a silverish blue. So silver with a tinge of blue. And the thing is, silver just happens to be one of my favorite colors, so that is why I indulged myself in the blue one. And I must also say that a very nice design element is that, of course, glass is transparent. But this glass around the camera island is extra transparent, so you can actually see the circles of the lenses going through the glass to the back of the body. And the light also shines within the edges around the camera island, which gives it a very nice premium and fresh feel. And that is such a very nice design cue. And I'm not sure that you have this design cue with all of the colors, but on this blue one, and I think other lighter colors like the silver one and gold one, it is very prominent. So guys, that's been it on my unboxing and first impressions video on the iPhone 11 13 Pro. Stay tuned, of course, because I will be doing some more coverage on this device. And also let me know in the comments what you would like to see covered in upcoming videos. This has been Guest75 again for Mobile Info Tech, and I'll see you in the next video.